Hello and welcome back to the Two Tiers Deep podcast. I am cracking up because Chloe has just pointed out that that is how we introduce every single podcast. Hi, Chloe, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you? Yeah, literally, I listen to when I listen back to the podcast, the intro is the same every time, and it just cracks me up. So, hello and welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a while. Um, as far as Two Tiers Deep, no, we took a little bit of a sabbatical unintentionally. We've just been really busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've obviously been away in India, um, on a coaching trip, coach development trip with ECB. So I was in Bangalore and Mumbai for a week, 8 days. And you've been terribly busy with uni work. So yeah.
Honestly, the essay gods have come to hunt me. But you've had a much more exciting. I mean, you've escaped the cold again. I need to get into your life. You've gone off to India. How was it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I guess just to embrace the culture, see how they go about cricket out there, learn and meet some of the best. We visited the BCCI Performance Centre, which can I say is absolutely incredible. 42 grass practice wickets they've got at that facility, let alone, oh God, must be like four oval pitches, indoor facility, an outdoor swimming pool, an indoor male and female recovery room, which includes like the ice chamber, the jacuzzi. Oh, it's just amazing. And the gym is a different level. Yeah, it was amazing. And then, yeah, going to Mumbai, and literally every single road or street you drove down, there was a cricket game going on, which is, I guess what you always hear about India, but to see it in person was pretty cool.
I mean, it sounds incredible. 42. That is crazy. I also think I read once about they're designed for different match conditions, which is crazy.
Yeah, so we met quite a few of the head BCCI curators, who have obviously such a big say in how the pitch conditions are, and what they do. And they obviously go into state or regional or final fixtures 3 days before and take over that ground from the ground staff there, and obviously have a big input in how they want to play. But yeah, they have literally got every single wicket type out in India. They've got English conditions, Australia conditions, South Africa, New Zealand. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible what they can do and how they do it.
I mean, there's a reason that their men's and women's team have both just won a World Cup, I'd say. Definitely creating the best training conditions for them.
And also, maybe just add that India under 19 boys and girls hold the trophy as well. So they've been like one of the most successful teams this season, and they're not afraid to boast or say that winning is their priority of everything. From literally under 19s, the first team, all the way down to their in India under 16 boys and girls sides that they get in from camps at such a young age.
I mean, that is incredible. And I'm glad you had such a good trip. I'm also very glad you made it back just before the flight window closed and the airspace closed.
I mean, yeah, it was touch and go at one stage. We were sat on the runway for about an hour and a half, not moving. Everyone still had internet access to their phones, and obviously were able to see what was going on. And obviously, we were very, very close to it. So yeah, very lucky that I guess the captain and the air company were able to find a different route round and get us home. Obviously, took a lot longer, but we got home.
One of the victims to all of the horrendous stuff that is happening in the world right now. And I'm going to be honest, it's rather insignificant when you compare it to that picture. Was England women's tour of Abu Dhabi, which was cancelled. But rather miraculously, the ECB last minute, literally last minute, have scratched together a programme to South Africa. So we're still doing the Cricket Hunger Games, we're just changing location.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool that they were able to switch it like that. I think we all knew that every county or international side that was going to Abu Dhabi or Dubai for a pre-season tour potentially was gonna be impacted. So to see the quick turnaround to still get England women this sort of Hunger Games competition, battle of the best. Yeah, I'm really glad to see it still going ahead. And we've had a squad or two squad announcements for this England women's intra-squad series in South Africa. Any standouts for you?
So many. There are so many standouts. Honestly, this squad made me so excited. And I'm going to be honest, when you're in the slog pre-season as a journalist and you're spending a lot of time doing research into teams, sorting work for the season, this is kind of the really painful period. And this is probably the first time that I've been really excited about the cricket season. Do you want to start us off with Team Hey Ho Flint?
I will. So we've got Charlie Dean as captain, Emma Lott, Tammy Beaumont, Tilly Courtine Coleman, Sophie Eccleston, Mahika Gore, Danny Gibson, Jodie Grewcock, Amy Jones, Heather Knight, Emma Lamb, Grace Potts, Grace Scrivens, Alexa Stonehouse, and Danny White Hodge. Now, after you've announced Team Britain, we'll pick a couple of standout players from each team because there are a lot.
And then we've got Team Britain, captained by Nat Stiver-Brunt, Lauren Bell, Maya Bouchier, Alice Capsey, Sophia Dunkley, Lauren Filer, Freya Kemp, Caris Pavley, Davina Perrin, Paige Schofield, Lindsay Smith, Rihanna Southby, Ellie Fraukaud, Maddie Villiers, and Izzy Wong. Strong, two strong teams.
Do you know what? Looking at that on paper, I wouldn't like to decide which team is going to come out victorious in this inter-squad series. But can we just start early on with Team Hey Ho Flint with the young Tilly Courtine Coleman? How exciting that she, I guess, burst onto the scene 2 years ago in the last season of the regional structure, absolutely dominated it last year for Surrey, and now is getting the recognition. I think she's been away this winter as well with the England camps to Oman. They went to South Africa as well already. But yeah, she's now in the pipeline to potentially be in the pickings for a World Cup squad. How exciting!
I mean, she's a phenomenal young player. And I also think she's now finished school, looking at Chloe for maths comp. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's now finished her A levels, so that will make her life focusing on cricket a lot easier. I'm pretty sure she did because last season she missed a chunk of it in exam period.
She is.
18?
She was born in 2007, so she is 18 now.
Yeah. When in 2007?
August.
Then yeah. Same. She's finished she's finished school.
Amazing, amazing. And then also still looking at that team. I know we spoke about her on the previous pod. You got Jodie Grewcock, the left-handed opening batter. Gives the leg spin option as well with the ball. She's such an exciting talent. I'm naming names of players who aren't English Central contracted. So also Grace Potts, really young, exciting seamer. Was from the Midlands, now plays at Lancashire. Obviously, Grace Scrivens, another left-handed top order batter. And if we continue the left arm, we've got a left arm seamer in Alexa Stonehouse. So yeah, some really, really exciting talents in that Hey Ho Flint side.
And I mean, it just continues into our team Britain, starting with, I think, the woman of the moment, Davina Perrin, who, if she wasn't in these squads, everyone would have had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, really obviously exciting for young Davina Perrin. I think we certainly would have picked up a fuss if she wasn't in the squad, especially after the exciting season she had with Warwickshire and in the 100 with Northern Superchargers. I'll tell you what, we've got some really young, exciting top order batters or opening batters on the scene here. So this is really, really exciting. Anyone else from Team Britain?
I mean, we've got another young left armour in Caris Pavley. Missed out a chunk of the season last year through injury, but was very involved in the England A stuff before that point, and I'd say it's definitely one England are keeping their eye on. We've also got two exciting wicket keepers in Rihanna Southby and Ellie Fraukaud. It'll be interesting to see how the playing time is divided amongst those two, as I'd say for a long time Fraukaud was ahead in that race, but I'd say Southby is starting to catch up. And then you've also got some involvement from Maddie Villiers, who obviously was very heavily involved in the England squad a couple of years ago and then kind of dropped off. So there's a lot happening in these squads.
Yeah, I think just in terms of, I guess, Rihanna Southby and Ellie Threlkeld, it's going to be an interesting one. I think some would have said that Threlkeld may have been out of the pipeline the last few seasons. So I guess she's been gifted this new lease of life, this new opportunity to go out there and I guess impress. Obviously, looking at Hey Ho Flint, you've only got Amy Jones as your main keeper in that squad. I presume Tammy Beaumont might be the backup. Um, but yeah, to have sort of a Southby v Threlkeld battle of two of the best keepers in the country coming through the domestic game right now will be exciting. And I guess ultimately it might potentially go down to who can score more runs on the day. I think with those two, I think they're both capable of the bat. And yeah, Maddie Villiers to, I guess, come back in an England environment after being, how long ago was she in it? 4, 5, 6, maybe longer, 6 years ago. Contracted to then also like step out the game or step out the international game back to domestic. So yeah, this is sort of another lifeline for her, and she's a fantastic cricketer and such an athlete in the field as well. So yeah, two very exciting squads. I intrigued to see, I guess, how the match format is going to look. Obviously, it's going to be T20, but how often are they going to play? Um, yeah, I think they're setting off today or tomorrow. So hopefully we'll find out soon in the next few days.
I think initially it was going to be three ODIs and three T20s, but obviously that could have changed given that they've had to scramble this together very last minute. We should also mention the coaching setup. So Charlotte Edwards will not be coaching either of these teams. She will be working with both of them. John Lewis, as in not previous had England had coach John Lewis, but batting coach, I'm pretty sure he is. John Lewis is coaching Team Britain, and Luke Williams is coaching Team Hey Ho. Flint, as I said, Edwards will be working across both of the squads. Regarding how you can follow it, we have been told by the ECB that they are hoping to stream it. But given the last minute nature of these arrangements, they're not sure, but there will definitely be scorecards available.
No, sounds good. And one I think that we all will be certainly be following very closely to see and maybe I guess from our side maybe try and pick our squad from how the players perform out in Stellenbosch as well and see how close we get to Charlotte Edwards picking her squad ahead of the World Cup.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that. I don't know about you in that selection room because it's gonna be tough.
Oh yeah, I'd love to be just the conversations or even from a coach perspective, just seeing how she goes about it, I think would be pretty cool. I think the players obviously have a lot of trust and respect for her. So yeah, it's certainly going to be a interesting conversations or conversations that she's going to have with players.
Shall we keep it on some more international cricket? Because we've just had a series of all international series. Australia versus India. Wow.
What a series, and how dominant are Australia?
And it's interesting because I think it's fair to say everyone thought India were had closed that gap. And it shows that when you play them in home conditions, how dominant they really are. I mean, I guess I can give England fans a little bit of a sigh of relief regarding 16 nil.
I mean, India still sort of, I guess, put up a fight, but yeah, Australia are just, yeah, so dominant at the moment, and they've got some serious talented players coming through, and we saw that obviously in the Test match of Lucy Hamilton and I guess the young Annabelle Sutherland. What a player!
I mean, Annabelle Sutherland actually scares me slightly. The talent that Australia are producing, and I'd say they're this might be harsh, but I'd say they're probably the only team that if tomorrow all of their legends retired and you lost Perry, Mooney, you've lost Healy, they would be absolutely fine. And I genuinely mean that. The young talent they have coming through is just phenomenal. Lucy Hamilton as well. Or it's so exciting. It scares me, but it's so exciting.
Yeah, and just Beth Mooney, I feel like she's not even aging at all in terms of her cricketing ability. I feel like she's getting better and better and better. with age. And I feel like she's going to keep going for a few more years as well. She's performing at the top level of her game. I guess the interesting conversation will be how much longer will we see Elise Perry in an Australian jersey. Her and Healy sort of came onto the scenes together. Um, and obviously, I guess the biggest conversation or the biggest debate would be, is Sophie Molyneux going to be fit for the next series? Are they playing West Indies? Australia have got a West Indies series coming up in the next few weeks or next month. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see, is she going to be fit by the time that comes around?
I mean, she's in the squad, but that and being fit are two very different things, as we know. For context about how the series went, India did better Australia in the T20 series with a 2-1 victory. In the ODIs, Australia then won 3-0 before winning the test match. And they won the test match in 3 days. So you can paint a picture into your head about how dominant they were in that game. But they beat the ODI world champions.
They absolutely dominated them, and what a ODI series to finish on for Alyssa Healy with 106 correction, 158 runs off 98 balls that Alyssa Healy scored. But yeah, to be able to finish your ODI career on those sorts of runs, it's, I don't know, is it a little bit of a in your face moment of, I've still got it, but I'm retiring because it's such a good opportunity for me to walk away on my own terms? Or, I mean, or are we looking at it as fans going, why aren't you playing any more games? Like, you're still good enough to be out there.
It's a difficult question to answer, but it's safe to say that Alyssa's had a phenomenal career. We've got some stats for you. It wouldn't be the Two Tiers Deep podcast without us scrambling to find some stats just before we start recording. Healy won 6 T20 World Cups and 2 ODI World Cups in her tenure, and had a 3-year captaincy spell, which saw her also score 7,000 plus runs across formats.
And from the keeping side, Healy finishes uh, as the most keeping dismissals in the women's international with 166 catches, 103 stump-ins, and in total of her dismissals, 269. Yeah, she was an absolute freak behind stumps, and one that I guess myself as a keeper sort of looked up to about how she goes about her game. And such a key impact in that team, and to be behind the stumps all the time and having that much presence. I think it's something that, yeah, will always inspire the next generation. And I think we've certainly seen her inspire the next generation.
And I mean, to sum up Healy, she could have come out in that test match and opened the batting and scored those winning runs. But she said in her post match interview, after joking about the fact she needed to maintain her average of 20 in test cricket, that she didn't want to prevent the next generation coming through. She said, we've got two of the best young opening batters opening the batting in a test match. That's really special. Why would I interrupt it? And Alyssa, hats off to you. That just sums everything about you up.
Yeah, the more and more, I guess, she's stepped into that leadership role, and over the years we've seen her become like that ultimate leader of the team, and not make it about her. Make it about that next generation that's coming through. And I absolutely love the comment where she was like, oh, maybe I'll sit in the comms box and start slating them. But then obviously she was joking. She's such a big I guess, supporter of the next generation coming through. And I think even whatever avenue she follows next, if that is in the comms box, yeah, she's going to be a great person to listen to.
She really is. So thank you to Alyssa Healy. You will be missed as far as the cricket is concerned, but please do stay in the commentary box because you have a level of banter that we need in our lives.
100%. Enjoy your beers.
Indeed. Shall we have a look at some county cricket? Because Chloe, there's a month to go till the season. I've just realised it's bang on a month until the 2026 Women's 50 over season begins. How exciting!
How quickly has that flown around, by the way? From me being in Dubai for 3 months to now we're literally a month away from the season. Um, oh my goodness, that means I'm going to have to step out on the cricket pitch again and stand in the field for 50 overs. But no, it's so exciting. Can't wait for it. And I'm hoping we're going to see some absolute jets come out this season. Some new players, some new names, some debutants in tier one, some debutants in tier two, some standouts in tier three. Yeah, it's so exciting.
It's gonna be big one. And we've had another tier two squad announcement with Kent announcing their squad 2026. As Chloe gets it up to give it a read, they'll probably be hoping for a better season this year. I don't think they reached their full potential as a playing unit last season. But do you want to tell people who will be representing the horse in 2026?
Yeah, Kent have announced quite a fairly big squad. Also a big shout out to their head coach who was I was away with in India the other week and had some really good conversations about the Kent squad ahead of the season. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they go. So we've got Megan Belt as captain, Coco Street as vice captain, Laura Bailey, Elsa Barnfather, Zena Bilal, Maddie Blinkhorn Jones. If we highlight there, she obviously has just stepped down from tier one from being contracted at Essex last season. Tilly Callahan, Kelly Castle, again, also after her contract ended in tier one side Essex, she is now stepping on the field for Kent this season. Izzy Cloak, Ellie Darlington, Amy Gordon, Sydney Gorham, Alice Grant, Isabel James, Genevieve Gier, Grace Paul, Sophie Singer, and Holly Young. Looks like a fairly strong young side with some experienced older players in there. I think they've actually got quite a nice balance with their squad going into this season. So yeah, it'd be really exciting, I guess, to see how they perform this year.
I mean, an 18 strong squad. It's probably the right number for tier two cricket, to be fair, because you've got to take into account games where players won't be available. But I'd say it's a more balanced squad than they had last year. They have more coverage across all areas. So hopefully they can really push to get higher up the table.
Yeah, and I guess obviously we've seen Maddie Blinkhorn Jones sort of take up keeping. So that's another string to her bow that she'll have at the top of the order. Very talented opening batter. And then just the experience of Kelly Castle in terms of her leadership and her knowledge on the game. I think that will support Ken in their tier two campaign. So it'd be really exciting to see how she goes. Obviously, didn't really get much game time last year with Essex. So a little bit of a fresh start, but one that I think that she'll enjoy.
Indeed. And we've had some other county news as well. Let's start at Surrey, where there's been a change of captain, not full time. Kira Chaffley has been announced as 50 over captain. Bryony Smith will remain as T20 captain. It's quite a big step for the side.
Yeah, I think I also read as well or heard that Bryony Smith will stay as club captain as well. So she will sort of, I guess, assist Kira Chatley in the 50 overs. But yeah, quite exciting. I guess when I was at South East Stars, Kira took over the reins on some games when Bryony wasn't available, and she did a fantastic job. And yeah, she's very knowledgeable, very tactical in her mindset. And I guess as a keeper, always involved in the game. So yeah, I think she's going to do great. Obviously, there's a lot of matches in the 50 over campaign. So that I guess that could be a reason for Bryony Smith to focus on T20 because we know how dominant she is. She's so dominant in the short format. And Surrey has been a big part of her journey from, I guess, when she was a little girl. So to still be club captain, I think is really special.
Do you know what I thought when I saw this announcement? I thought, God damn, women's cricket has moved on in the last few years to have a separate captain for each format, which previously we've only really seen at Yorkshire, and that was only because Lauren Winfield Hill went on loan to tier one for the Blasts. So Maddie Ward took over during that period. But it's super exciting to see the game moving on in that way and seeing us develop different kinds of leaders.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got to give a little shout out, I guess, to Northants because we had a 50 over and a T20 captain even last year, and again this year. But yeah, to see where the women's game has evolved, to be able to even have a T20, a 50 over, and a club captain, I think, yeah, it just shows how much investment is into the game, how much it's grown. And I guess it's just, yeah, so exciting to see. So I guess we wish Kira all the best of luck in the 50 over campaign.
Indeed, we do. We've also had some signings. It's been a sorry guys, we've been gone for a little while. In Durham, Mia Rogers has signed a 1 year contract extension, taking her deal to the end of 2027, which is super exciting because I'd say she was one of the breakout stars of Project Darwin last year.
Yeah, I think we saw her with Sunrisers in the regional system. And I think it was like the first and second year, and then she sort of, I guess, dropped off or they released her, and she sort of went away and worked on her own skills. And yeah, to come back and I guess be signed by Durham. Um, yeah, breakthrough season for her with the bat and with the gloves when she had the opportunity. So such an exciting talent. And to see her that they've extended her contract. Um, yeah, it's really, really nice. Yeah, I'm really happy for her. I've known her growing up. She's at Berkshire as well. So yeah, really well done to me.
We've also had two overseas player announcements. Warwickshire have announced the signing of Georgia Redmayne, and Somerset have announced oh, the signing of Annika Leroyd. Two Aussie players coming over, two Aussie players who probably won't be involved in the World Cup, which I think is worth noting, and two solid signings for those counties.
Yeah, I mean, George Redmayne obviously came over in the regional system, so she's had a little taste of how our domestic game works. But yeah, really exciting for Annika Leroy to join over at Somerset. Obviously, with Erin Burns as the head coach there, I wonder if there's some sort of connection. And we might see that going forward with the Aussie connections at Somerset. But yeah, I guess it'd be really, really interesting to see how they both impact the domestic game this season, and I imagine they'll be available for most of the season as well.
Which I think is probably also a trend we're seeing across the overseas signings. I mean, at Surrey, you've got Laura Harris, who, again, very good Aussie player, probably not going to be involved in the World Cup. That was another one. Where was the other one? At
No, it's just
Lancashire, you've
yeah.
got Meg Lanning,
Where you got Orla Prendergast and Charlie Knott.
Charlie Knott as well, and also Amanda Jade Wellington. So there is a real trend crossing these counties. I'm going to be honest, it would be nice to see some players who weren't Australian getting these opportunities. I think there's a bit of a trend in women's county cricket in the UK that it is just the Aussies, and we don't give a lot of credit to the West Indian, the South African, the Kiwi players who are very good but aren't Australian.
Yeah, just on that, even like just spending the time out in Dubai and seeing UAE women go about their business. The captain for UAE women's team, Isha Oda, her stats and performances are a joke, and I don't know how she never gets picked up in the WPL as that associate player. But yeah, I reckon if she came over to our domestic game, she would absolutely dominate with the bat. It's really, really strong player, and I guess hopefully in a few years' time we might see her come over and have the opportunity.
Especially as an associate player, you'd really like to hope that that opportunity will arise for her. I feel like I think we've covered the county cricket massive announcements that we missed. A big part of cricket coming up is we are now officially less than 24 hours away from the women's 100 auction. And no, I say auction. It will be hosted at Piccadilly Lights and will be the UK's first ever major sporting auction. And you may be wondering, how does it differ to the draft? And Rosa is going to try really hard to explain to you. First and foremost, the budgets of the teams have increased. Each women's team has £800,000 to spend to craft a squad of 16 to 18 players. At the end of the auction, this will be a maximum of 16, as we still have the Vitality wildcard, meaning closer to the tournament, when the season's begun, each team will pick two players in the bottom salary band to reward domestic performance, which is a really important inclusion that has been kept. The auction is split into three phases. Ahead of the auction, each team submitted a list of 75 to 100 players, which set the different categories for the auction. The top 50 players in the women's 100 are split into categories such as the marquee domestic, the marquee international players. Then you go into tier one batters, all rounders, spinners, and you do the same for tier two batters, all rounders, spinners. 50 players are in those categories. They will be auctioned first. Then there's a long list of about 130 names that will come out randomly based on the amount of interest the players have had. It's different. It could be intense, but it's very exciting.
I mean, it's gonna be an absolute whirlwind of an auction, I think. I'm not too sure how it's gonna go, to be honest. I think we potentially might see one team blow their budget on someone they really want. One team's gonna might go really tactical and might, I guess, go for the lower end of each tier range. I'm just so intrigued to see, I guess, how the teams build their teams through this auction. I think ultimately is where I'm at with it. Um, Also, just noting aside, absolutely gutted to not get through to the shortlist. May I add? No joking. Obviously didn't expect that. But yeah, there's some really, really exciting domestic names in our UK system who have been shortlisted. And I guess it'd be interesting to see which overseas get picked as well.
It will indeed, because the other detail that's changed that you just reminded me about is we will have an additional overseas player in each squad at four. One of the benefits of the squads expanding, and technically all four of those overseas players can be on the pitch at the same time. I honestly don't know whether all of the teams will utilize that. I think we've got such a strong pool of English talent now that you might see it genuinely being made on the best players rather than I'd say in a lot of the franchise tournaments where if you're an overseas player, you're going to play. But it's super exciting. I mean, predictions wise, there's an obvious one. And I reckon Davina Perrin, you're going to get a pretty good payday tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, wow, we'd love to all be Davina Perrin for the day just to see her experience and I guess how much she actually goes for. I think there's going to be some other youngsters as well that are going to go for some big bucks and have some big paydays. And I think, like what we said it before, this 100 auction ultimately can double their yearly salary in one hit.
It's also so unpredictable. There will be players who go for more than they'd imagined. There will also be players on the other side of that who go for significantly less than imagined. I took part in a mock 100 men's auction for the 100 podcast. Really tested my men's cricket knowledge, by the way. My word. Um, and some of the players that went unsold in that mock auction, Chris Jordan went unsold because of his base salary being £100,000, couldn't justify at that stage in the auction bringing him in. And there could be players who fall victim to that in the women's too. I mean, I guess it is a blessing for them that they know there's another opportunity to get picked up. There's always injuries, so there'll be players that come in as injury replacements. But I'm not envious of the players because it must be quite an anxious waiting period now of anticipation.
Yeah, I think tomorrow is. I think everyone is going to be gripped to the TV. Obviously, half the girls are all going to be together in South Africa at a camp together. So, I mean, that obviously, if we look at it from that perspective, could be a little bit awkward. If someone gets picked and someone doesn't, or if someone goes for a lump sum, or if someone's salary cap that they put themselves as is too high. Um, yeah, I mean, again, love to be a fly on the wall in South Africa tomorrow just to see how the draft and the auction goes. But it's going to be an exciting day all in all. I know I'll be keeping my eye out very, very closely for it.
I will be covering it live, so I will definitely be keeping an eye out. Chloe's not prepared for the amount of messages she's probably going to get from me tomorrow about the future auction.
I'll put my phone on do not disturb till after it's finished.
Rude.
Amazing. Well, shall we wait? We'll wait and see whatever happens to the draft. But is there anything else that we haven't covered?
There are a couple of other little minor 100 announcements. Elise Perry has been confirmed as, I guess, a reappointment as Birmingham Phoenix women's captain. I think we said third year in a row,
Yeah,
which
I think
sounds
that's
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And then from the coaching point of view, we've had some confirmations slash changes. At Southern Brave, Jonathan Batty has been appointed as head coach after winning the 100 with Oval Invincibles for the first 2 years of the tournament. He's moving on as Lisa Kitely has stepped into the role there. Now Mumbai London, I caught it. And also at Sunrisers Leeds, formerly Northern Supercharger, Susie.
Nearly.
Oh, Susie Bates has been appointed as batting coach, Chris Liddell has been appointed as bowling coach, and Richard Pyra, head coach of Yorkshire, has been appointed as the assistant and fielding coach.
Some serious names out there for the coaching thing. I mean, pretty cool to see Susie Bates come in a coach capacity role now. For 100, I think is that sort of a transition for her we're going to see in the next few years. Oh, just in terms of New Zealand, they announced a squad, didn't they? And I'm pretty sure Sophie Devine, Susie Bates, all those lot are back in the squad. They did.
They are indeed. Um, and I would say that the 100 coaching announcer was Susie Bates also probably quite heavily points to the fact that we're about to get an announcement from Durham that Susie Bates will be joining them as their overseas player again this season. And it will give them the benefit that last year Susie went home before the 100 because she didn't pick up a contract and they really missed her in those
Yeah.
one day cup games in September. So hopefully she can stick around and they'll have her for the full season.
Yeah, I was going to say, I imagine she'll now stay around for the full season and have that impact for Durham, I guess, on the pitch and off the pitch as a bit of a mental coach player role as well. So, yeah, really, really excited for her there. Obviously, Chris Liddell moving up north after he was head coach at London Spirit last year, assistant coach them the year before. So I guess that's a big move to note. Yeah, we're going to see so many changes tomorrow night in terms of players, coaches, everything. So shall we wait until tomorrow night and we can discuss more on the next pod?
We should, and I can say that Rosa is not emotionally prepared for what the 100 auction entails. Covering the WPL one was an experience and a half, and they had a lot more players already in their squads and three less teams. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm looking forward to discussing it with you on the next pod.
Most definitely. I reckon that is all for now, I reckon.
I agree.
Perfect.
It's been a busy one.
It's a lot. There's been a lot from start to finish. I think my mind is actually quite fried now, just trying to think of everything we've discussed. And we're ready to do it all again next week with the carnage of the auction. I think that's going to be even more carnage.
I hope that everyone is feeling a little bit more informed about women's cricket than before they started. I'm certainly feeling a little bit more informed about women's cricket than before we started. Thank you so much, Chloe.
No, thank you, and hope everyone enjoys the podcast.
We'll speak to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's Two Tiers Deep. If you like to find me, Chloe Hill, you can find myself on Instagram with a new Instagram page covering this podcast at Two Tiers Deep CH. Or I'll pass you over Rosa to find herself at
Rosa Talks Ball. Or if you have any questions, you can contact us on rosatalksball@gmail.com. And please don't hesitate to get in touch.